Grady Powell, host of Forged in Fire.
Kyle Mann.
I'm J. Warner Wallace.
Kira Davis.
It's Ben Adams. Hey, this is Dave Baker.
Carrie Pomeroli.
This is Mike Reiner.
This is Ethan Nicole.
This is Liam Morgan.
This is Graham Parker, the 5th GP, and this is why you should never.
How
I got suckered in.
I'm so embarrassed that I'm here.
You're wasting your time. You got better things to do.
Never listen.
Those darling, yummy Reverend and The Reprobate.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Reverend and The Reprobate program. My name is Lucas Pinkard. I will be playing the part of the Reverend tonight as I am an actual pastor. And with me is a man whose son is perpetually grounded.
Yep.
And you know why?
Till the Chinese New Year.
He knows why.
Yeah, he does.
You all know why.
That's all needs to be said.
Because he's 12.
Because he's 12.
Yeah,
and all 12-year-olds.
And of all children, Kale is the 12est. He is, if anybody, he is the most 12 that anyone has ever been. He is the 12est.
Hey, what's the theory about when boys lose their brains and girls lose their brains?
Yeah, so girls, and this is not our theory. This is proven scientific fact. Womp womp. Thank you, Admiral Rachel. This starts at age 13 is when brains are removed, right?
And
from
theory
girls,
is how
brains are removed. The aliens come down and they take out little girls' brains at age 13, and they give them back to girls about a decade later at 23. Now, boys, it's a little different. Boys have some semblance of brain function, right? But the aliens wait a little longer because the brains are a little too gooey up until they get keys. Now, this is a really important distinction. Keys could be like hardship license, 14, right? 15 or 16, whatever it is that the keys hit the boy's hand, that's when the aliens are like, and they suck the brain right out and they give it back to us after 25.
Yeah. So I think we're seeing that. He does have a key.
Yeah, that's why girls do better at school and graduate from college more gooder and all that stuff.
And my son is the 12est.
Yeah. And why most Harvard graduates don't drive. It's because the aliens never took their brains. Because they never got keys. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Foolproof.
So parents, there's a reason that these
certified
things are
by our health admiral.
There's the reason our children are so dumb. It's not really their fault. Now, some of the things that they do are
aliens
their fault,
and keys.
But the common denominator is they don't have, what is it, half their brain? How much?
Yeah,
they have to have some because their heart's running. Well,
no, that all runs off the battery the aliens put in there.
Well, Tom Leopold today is...
Yeah, Tom Leopold is on the show today.
He
legendary comedic writer.
Yeah,
for sure. Legendary comedic writer from Seinfeld, from Cheers, from Will and Grace, from every other show you've probably ever watched or liked.
And the unseen
National Lampoon.
J. Edgar.
Yeah, the unseen musical J. Edgar. He talks to us a little bit about his new musical that is in the works. His album that he put out with his very good friend Paul Schaefer, who played keyboard on it, and his guitar instructor who played everything else. Called Tom Leopold Just the Hits, which was published in 2012, which you can find on Apple Music or in the show notes below.
When did the Letterman show end? You remember?
A few years ago.
Okay, so it was still going on at that point.
Yeah. Letterman was still around in 2012, and I was on my way back from Canada. Is when Tom Leopold created that album. So lots of interesting musical things about Tom Leopold. He talks to us about what it's like being in the writer's room for Cheers, what dating advice he would have given Ted Danson, as well as who from the SNL cast was the person in season 1 that really had all the talent.
And lastly, between Walter Cronkite and Brian Stelter, who's most likely to win a hot dog eating contest?
Yep. Between that and his favorite Yiddish words, Tom Leopold was a riot. We hope that you guys enjoy it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you think about this interview and what question you would have asked Tom that we didn't get to.
And also, if your name is Brendan, we have a message for you coming soon.
Brendan must be stopped. Slap this energy. Said Expo on our airwaves today is a man who is quite possibly our favorite interview. It is the fabulous, the talented, the dashingly handsome, the ageless Tom Leopold. How are you, sir?
That's the word I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
It's true.
Gentlemen, it's so great to see you. I'm so glad to be back, although, I listened to our interview. I watched our interview of maybe a year ago, was it?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
I told you all my good stuff. I went with all my A material, and if anything, you'll get the B stuff. This time, I know you drain me. You squeeze me out like a old dish rag. And
Well, your
no, you didn't.
well, your B material is still top notch for us.
Yeah, it's way better than our A material, so we're happy with whatever we can get.
I'm so happy to be back on. I love you guys, and thank you for asking me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks for coming
the
back.
first thing I want to know about is the background accoutrement, which is the guitar there. What kind of guitar do we have in the background there, Mr. Leopold?
You can call me just no, Mr. Leopold. Well, I'm from the Eddie Cochran, Gretsch, Chet Atkins, Country Gentleman. I mean, I just love the look of the darn thing. So I wish it were from that period, but it's a repro. But it plays good. It's a good Gretsch. And I got an acoustic guitar, and I like to write songs. And I like, I've almost got one of those suspended chords figured out.
Ooh, nice.
But how much can I play with a hand like this?
Yeah, you can slide that one chord.
Yeah, I love to play. I know you guys play. So
Yeah.
I'm
when
a
I come
lowly
down and do
bassist.
a live show with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Do
We'll sing Michael Rode the Boat Ashore, all those 3-chord camp songs.
That's perfect.
you answer
That's
my
perfect.
question of do you ever play in New York City at open mic night with we can play row your boat.
Yeah, that would be great. So when you write songs, because this is something we didn't find out about you until our pre-show. When you write songs, are you normally writing like comedic songs? Are you writing like songs about how you feel? Like what inspires Tom Leopold to write music?
Well, I played guitar a good while. You wouldn't be able to tell from my playing, but I knew I started writing songs years ago for a lot of the TV shows I worked on, and they were mostly comedy. Like on different variety shows, I write special material and you make up songs. But Harry Shearer and I, the great Harry Shearer, who I'm sure some of your fans know, Spinal Tap and
yes,
every voice on The Simpsons, he gets like $140 million an episode.
Good man.
Which is the thing I'm most fascinated with, because I've known the guy since I'm 20.
Right.
But we wrote a musical called J. Edgar! I don't know if I mentioned that last time.
Oh, we listened to it last time prior to with Kelsey Grammer as the lead role. Yeah, fantastic.
Wow. I forgot.
Also, that needs to
all
happen.
the stories I told you, I don't remember anymore anyway.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
But anyway, Harry and I wrote all the songs for that. We wrote the lyrics, and this great musician who orchestrated Barbra Streisand's first record, which is a long time ago, did the music to our lyrics. We gave him the lyrics, and he came back. And our conceit for the show was it's about J. Edgar Hoover and his lover Clyde Tolson, his lifetime assistant, quotes. So it's a love story between Clyde Tolson and his lifetime assistant, and all that. And there's songs like "Once Upon a Face," things like that. So we wrote the lyrics, and then this guy. But so I just realized. I mean, I was surprised I could make up tunes that were okay, and the tunes tell me, such as they are, what they are saying. So I think maybe I just built the writing mechanism for so long that it's sort of on automatic pilot in that way.
Well,
can't stop. You can't stop the when you fellas. Let me just give you a little advice. I know you're young.
I would love it. Yeah,
you're going to be in the business for another 50 years.
Oh Lord.
Take it from me as a guy who finally made it up that golden middle rung of show business.
Yeah, that's where we want to be.
And I believe you're going to get there. You won't stay there, but you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I forgot what I was going to say. I went so far with that.
No, the advice. We need it. We desperately need it.
Anyway, I wrote a bunch of songs, and then I made an album of them. I wrote my first album, a CD of them, and I named it Just the Hits.
Okay.
Because I figure I'm paying for it. I can call it whatever I want. This is my first CD, Just the Hits. Oh, hold on. You want to see one?
Yeah, we'd love to see the artwork.
You guys want to come to my garage? I got about 1,000 of these in there.
Okay, perfect.
I always picture that he lives in the Flatiron Building. I don't know why.
I don't look at it.
Yeah,
what is this? This is it. This is just the hits.
Tom Leopold,
Just
the hits.
What a pensive picture.
Recorded in different panic rooms around Manhattan. and Paul Schaefer plays piano on a lot of the songs, and Loudon Wainwright, a wonderful singer, writer, sings harmony on one. And they're available now on your YouTube. iTunes.
iTunes, yeah.
For you people out there with, now that inflation, now's the time to spend money you don't have.
Okay, so
don't
what?
buy butter this week.
Don't buy
my
butter.
CD. Thank you very much.
Get some hits.
Okay,
We're gonna
so
have to
by the way, this is not available in Canada. I hate it.
As it shouldn't be. As it should. It's the music of freedom. It's rock and roll. So, Tom, of the 13 songs on Tom Leopold's smash hit album, Just the Hits, what do you think are the two most popular? Because I've got them in front of me. The two most downloaded songs on, according to Apple Music, from Tom Leopold's.
Please don't say how many times they were downloaded.
Just Hits. Yeah, I don't have that information.
It's double digits yet. Well, play a Hole in the Head. Are you gonna play it?
Hole in the Head is number one.
I was going to say that would be really cool if we could play it, but I don't know if we can.
We'll let me see if I can make that happen. All right, so Hole in the Head is number one. What do you think the second?
I'm diverting you guys into another whole area that you probably didn't want to be talking about. But
hey, we're
in.
We're
so
game for whatever.
So lonely.
We had Tom Leopold on to chase rabbits.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're here.
And we're already at, I made an album called Just the Hits with Paul Schaefer.
Yeah.
And Harry Shearer was on it too? Did I get that?
No, Harry's not on that, no.
Yeah. Paul Schaefer.
Harry wasn't on that.
Legendary.
On everything else I've practically done. Harry and I wrote so many things. You need to look it up. I don't want you to take space time on my great song that people are going to love.
So,
you got other fish to fry.
I'm working on it. So the number one song from that album is Hole in the Head. What do you think is the number two song?
It's one of my favorites. Well, let's see. I'm the only one who downloaded any, so I really should know this. But gee whiz, Heart Without a Clue.
Heart Without a Clue is not the second most. This one has to do with a holiday.
Oh, yeah, Halloween 1958.
Okay, so what is Halloween 1958 about?
That's so interesting how, Reverend, I don't have to tell you this, but there's no coincidences.
Amen.
God does have, there is a supernatural reality. I know you know that.
Yes.
From being an actual reverend.
This is true.
Reprobate? I don't know what you know. I gotta get in there. I gotta dig in there. See what's going on.
I believe in the Nephilim and that they're coming back.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
They're coming back. They're coming back. Their souls are going to come into our robots and they're going to kill us.
Who are they?
The Nephilim.
Danley's in timeout.
I'm way deep into a conspiracy theory right now.
Oh man, I was so involved with the Kennedy assassination conspiracy. I could tell you a story about that, but anyway.
Can you hear Hole in the Head playing right now?
Yeah, man. Blast it.
Slightest mentioning, two dreamers hand in hand, one heart drawn in the sand.
That's you singing?
There you go. Huh?
And that's you singing? That's your vocal?
Yeah, that's me. I sing better now. I do. It was like a long time ago, but
I always.
It's like telling people come to see you in a play. You should have been here last night. I was really good.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. I get better retroactively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with age. You get better with age.
Yeah.
Well,
you go against Satchel Paige. Don't look back. Don't look back, guys.
Right. So
just keep looking back.
So what inspired Halloween 1958? That's what I want to know.
Let me close this door. My wife's on the phone. Honey, we're doing important television. I love her. We'll be married 35 years in October, but
congratulations.
Unless she gets lippy. If she gets lippy, I'm sorry. I don't care how much time we've been together.
Just one more.
I don't want to sound all, macho. Halloween 1958. It's so interesting to ask that because I was very sick when I was a kid. I was in and let's not say what age I am. Let's just say that I was 2 years behind Icarus at school.
Okay.
tell all that. Anyway,
on Mykonos.
I missed a lot of things. Like I had 3 brothers, and I would miss sporting things. I would be in bed with asthma, I had terrible asthma. And back in the 50s, they had nothing. They just shoot you up with adrenaline, which, it was great.
Yeah. It makes you jump higher, run faster.
Oh, yeah, it was like you're on meth. You're 7.
Yeah.
But I kept missing a lot of things, like my birthday and the first day of school and all this stuff. And my dad, at that point, before he got very successful in the dress business, but before that, he was just a traveling salesman. 4 kids at home, driving in the South. I grew up in Miami, driving through the South, no air conditioning, going in and trying to sell ties at different men's stores and stuff. And all that's in the song. My dad would come back, and the only part of him would be tan, would be his left arm that he had out,
Yeah, it's sticking out the window.
Car window, Anyway, so this one Halloween, I was sick again. I couldn't go out to Halloween. I'm like 7 or something like that. And I'll never forget, I was watching Attack of the Puppet People on our black and white TV in the Florida room.
Attack
of the
Puppet People?
This is your worst nightmare.
This is actually one of my nightmares. I don't do puppets. Like, at all. I'm ventriloquists are terrifying.
It was this horror movie, a science fiction movie, and the puppet people were real people. They were just little. Some doctor had shrunk them down into, not puppets, God knows.
Yeah.
We're all afraid of them.
Ooh.
This sounds like what?
Anyway, sorry. I was just going to say that. So here I was, my 3 brothers went out trick-or-treating. I couldn't go out. And so my father had been away. He had to go on the road for like a month at a time and schlepping with the sample cases and the thing. And all of a sudden, he was far away. He was on a tour. Not tour. Everything's show business. My dad had a residency in Vegas at the time. I got the Rev. Let me see a spit take, Rev. I don't get a spit take out of you today.
That was pretty close.
Okay, I'll take close.
What do they call
my dad, who wasn't due home for a couple of weeks, just shows up around 6 o'clock, lights getting dim and all that. And he heard that I wasn't going out for one more thing. I would get sick on my birthday parties, blowing out the candles, and I'd be taken to the hospital. And and my brothers would open my presents. Anyway.
Well, that sure was nice of him.
That's what hurt me into semi-art. So anyway, my dad shows up, and he had my mother make me up as a hobo with red lipstick on my nose and a shoe shine beard. That's all. Every lyric of that song is true. That's all in there. And my dad carried me through the neighborhood, sold his watch to make that plane, and that line's in there, which is true. And then that night or the next morning, he couldn't afford to fly down on a plane, left his car up there, flew back, and he just didn't want me to miss one more thing. And so that's a really nice memory.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's hard to reconcile with him hitting me with a baseball bat at night. No, I'm just joking.
You take the good with the bad, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's a yin-yang kind of a situation. The yin-yang department.
Well, I am curious, since your dad had the residency
Halloween
in Vegas.
1958. All right.
What do you call the girls who follow the tie salesman on tour? Bands have roadies.
Right, and then
or
groupies.
Not roadies, I'm saying groupies.
Groupies, yeah. The roadies are the men that follow the band on tour and unload all their stuff.
The parrot heads.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
The idea that there would be groupies for tie salesmen is just funny enough. There's a setup that needs no blow,
Yeah, that's already funny.
It's its own punchline.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, those are the ones you want.
Well done.
With no work needed. That's the best. That's the best, right?
It's got to be.
I can't punch you up, man.
Yeah, it's funny and yes.
So you just used a phrase, punching up. And one of the things that we're seeing levied against a lot of comedians right now, especially satirists, is punching down. Can you help us to understand what punching down is?
Well, I probably have, there's every year there's new words that people can hang on so as not to, hold their own in a conversation, and they don't know what it means any more than the person they're saying it to means. I'm one of those people usually, but I guess it means you think the audience is stupider than you. So you don't write what you would think is really funny. You kind of write what you think these stupid people would think is funny, or punching down. People could do it, I suppose, in an argument too.
Yeah.
Take advantage of a weaker person. Well, the way you guys do.
Right. Yeah.
When I see this body language,
I'm going down.
There's rage.
Just to be clear.
I know. The reprobate, there's rage, and there's rage in you.
Oh, no doubt.
There is.
No, but the good kind. Rage for the Lord.
This is true.
Same. Yeah, I'm leaving that one. It's the same as a rave for the Lord.
It's similar to the rave for the Lord, but we don't, because we're very energy conscious. We don't turn the lights on and off every time we stop. That's an important distinction that we make in raging for the Lord. All right, so we talked about Tom Leopold's illustrious musical career. You casually mentioned that you had Paul Schaefer play on it.
Yes.
On that album. You and Paul have been friends for a really long time.
Who hasn't had Paul Schaefer play on that
he's
album?
my dearest pal. I know it sounds like name dropping, but
well, I mean, you're both showbiz guys.
Everything they have. They should use everything they have to impress people. That's how I look at it.
So I think Paul Schaefer is probably one of the more underappreciated entertainers that's ever been on television, because he was a great balance to David Letterman.
Oh, God, yes.
Letterman was way over the top with everything, and Schaefer would just be like, and then just leave him, him hanging out there on everything. How did you and Paul meet?
Prison.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it makes sense. The haircuts.
I confuse that with how I met my wife. Paul, I don't remember it, but this is over 40 years ago.
Right.
We played the wedding march at our wedding, and
wow.
Our anniversary is coming up. And he says I met him out in L.A. first, but then I met him in New York, and it's one of those things where it's like in comedy, there people what do they call it? Matchmake you. Like, man, you got to meet this guy because you like that guy. So I think someone put us together, and we just started talking about C-list actors, that terrible acts from the Ed Sullivan Show, which is our hobby. I don't know if I spoke to you about that.
No, not at all.
Oh well, God, this is. We for years, me, Harry Shearer, to name drop. Yeah. What am I going to say? Tony that cuts the bologna down at the Big Y? No, I'm not going to. What do you say about him?
Yeah, or Yenta, the matchmaker from Fiddler on the Roof.
Right.
Yeah, he's the one with the big cyst on his. Anyway, Tony, never mind. Just a cyst. You know what? Pasta night.
Yeah.
I like the Tonys over here.
Yes.
But anyway, so we met, and then we have this hobby where me, Harry, Belzer, Richard Belzer when he's around, Chris Guest, Harry Shearer, we will fly different places in the country to see terrible entertainment. But the caveat is it has to be bad.
Right.
Which makes it hard to sit there and watch. But then when you talk about it for the next 30 years, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? So we like to go see bad entertainment, the kind of entertainment, the acts we used to see when we were kids on the Ed Sullivan Show. It wasn't always the Beatles, or Elvis. It was like a monkey act and a comedian, who did dialects. I mean, and when we started to be friends, there were still some of those kind of people left in Vegas and nightclubs who were kind of like acts we had seen. Mr. Electric, a guy who put a light bulb in his mouth, magician, and things like that.
Okay.
El Drapo was a guy that would take a woman and put her on a Lazy Susan spinner and then wrap a lot of material around her and make a dress. That was El Drapo. That was a real act.
What?
So anyway, we love terrible entertainment, and we have a saying when we go, Gil, it's a thing, you pay, you got to meet up. We said, what if we go and it's good? We just say, well, we'll just leave. It's just money.
If it's good, if it's good, we'll leave.
It's good, we'll walk out.
That's the worst case scenario. It's
money,
good.
You know?
Yeah.
If it's good, we leave. That's all. We don't waste our time with that kind of stuff. Because to us, bad entertainment is pretty much the only real entertainment left. It isn't so kind of homogenized.
It's honest, right? You know, if it's this is my deal. I put women on a spinny table and put clothes on them.
Some people put women on a pedestal. You put them on a lazy Susan.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, my friend.
I find I don't get yelled at as much.
I think this is why Tom comes on our show. Is that he's like, oh, you know what? Here is I can't fly all my friends in because of the pandemic. I'm going to go on the Reverend and The Reprobate and have bad entertainment.
And tell him about El Drapo.
No, not you guys. No, you guys are way too. We wouldn't spend a dime on you.
Oh. I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I mean that from the bottom of my pants. I really do.
That's very comforting. I think
You're
Tom Leopold would walk out on our show.
I wouldn't fly out here either.
I already forgot where you guys even are.
Dallas.
You guys remember?
No, it's awesome.
Where is it?
Yeah, we're in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my obsession, the Kennedy assassination.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Talking about
full circle.
conspiracies. I could tell you, it's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, did you guys have a direction you wanted to go with me? Yeah.
No,
I wanted to talk about the JFK assassination.
But I don't have any opinion other than everybody else's opinion.
Okay, tell us what everybody else's opinion that you share is.
Well, I don't have the same opinion as a lot of people.
Sure.
Some people even think it was good, like he stood up for women. What? You know.
He liked women.
If I had been there, Will Smith, and my wife was there,
Uh-huh.
I'd never hear about it. I would never stop hearing about you. Why did you go up there, you idiot? You know, she would have let me go up there.
Yeah.
Stop. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. Like if I get road rage, and I get, not by, so that wouldn't have happened to me. So you know what? I felt sorry for Chris Rock because that looked like it really hurt. I've seen Chris Rock in person. I don't know him, but slight little man.
Mm-hmm.
And Will Lee, I actually wrote Will Lee, and I asked him what possessed him to do such a terrible thing on the Oscars. You know, Will Lee, the bass player.
Yeah, the bass player for Paul Schaefer.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a really good friend. And
did he play on your album?
Huh?
Did Will
he didn't play
on
on my album? No.
I was going to ask that too.
Oh.
What? What'd you ask?
Oh, who played bass? He's
I'm a bass player.
Yeah, Lucas is a bass player, and he found himself
in
a
didn't play
slipstream.
bass. I had this really cool guy who was my guitar teacher to play all these instruments. He played everything. I played rhythm guitar.
That's acoustic. The best.
When I do this, that's what I'm doing.
That's what I can do too.
This is me leaning on a ledge. This is me against the wind. I'm wearing the right shirt for this. I'm wearing my mime shirt.
Yeah. Red.
Yeah. So we went back and forth on the Oscars, and I said a terrible thing, and I feel bad about it. Reverend, I really should mention this when I go to confession. I know you don't have a confession. But I wrote him back. I said, I don't know, that thing with Will Smith, man. You know, to me, it looked like he warmed up on Liza. You know. And I feel bad about it, Reverend, but, you know, I do.
Poor Lucille.
Yeah, who was she with? It was Liza, and there was a lady.
And Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga was with her
around the stage in the wheelchair. Poor thing. I mean, Liza's great, but you gotta say that. You gotta say Liza's great.
Yeah, she is.
Otherwise, you're. You know what? Otherwise, you're a gay basher.
Yeah,
you don't love Liza. Yeah, that's the final test. Lady Gaga, and then Lady Gaga was helping the great Tony Bennett, singing with him with Alzheimer's. So I consider her the Florence Nightingale of rock music, of the song.
I guess it'd be better than that than being.
Well, who's going to be next? Who's going to be next? What infirm person is going to be like? She's going to take care of. Who's she going to wheel on next?
The story of there's a cat in a retirement home that goes and sleeps at the bed of the next person that's kicking it.
No.
Yes.
This sounds like what might be in Lady Gaga's future.
That whoever Lady Gaga, whoever's wheelchair she's pushing is going to be the next one to go.
I mean, we'll see. I hope not. I agree. I love Liza.
Tom, you are never allowed to be pushed by Lady Gaga anywhere. Yes. If she comes near you, you call.
Then it's over, man. That's one sign it's over. The other sign that I think I know it's going to be over for me is when I have to get one of those bathtubs with the door in it. You know?
Dude, right?
I know, okay.
I can't wait for that.
Check, please. It's time to call Dr. Kevorkian, which I can't do because I'm Catholic now. I may have to change back to Judaism just to kill myself. And not go to hell. Serious. I thought, it's one thing I didn't read the fine print, and you can't kill yourself. Oh. Yeah. Now you tell me.
That's severely disappointing. It's really got to be.
It's not a knock, I'm not slamming the Lord.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what do you think happened to Kennedy? You blamed Will Lee for Will Smith's actions, but what do you think happened to JFK?
I blame Will Lee for making me write a joke that I feel bad about.
That was not called for.
Yeah. Freaking Will Lee.
His fault.
Yeah. Agreed. It's completely his fault.
I don't know. It was a terrible thing to see a guy get hit like that. I mean, gee whiz. I don't know. It's just. And then I really thought about my late mother. May she rest in pieces.
Yes.
How much my mother loved the Oscars when they'd come on once a year when I was a kid. Because then that was the only award show.
Right.
The Grammys weren't even on TV. And the Hollywood stars of the old days would come all made up and like super gods, and my mother would live for the Oscars. And I felt bad for my mother. Oh, I thought my mother didn't live to see what a piece of crap. It probably always was.
Yeah.
But, my mother used to sit there. She did the same thing with the Oscars she used to do for the Miss America pageant, which is another big thing.
Right.
Those are like the two big things on television. We had 3 channels, black and white, and Miss America pageant. And all I remember about my mother watching the Miss America pageant was one contestant after another. She'd go, heavy legs. Bad teeth. That was it. She looked forward to that all year.
Heavy
legs. But I'll tell you a funny story about the Oscars, if you want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I don't know if I told this. Did I tell you guys about the story about Quincy Jones calling me up?
No. We love Quincy Jones.
You know who Quincy Jones is.
Yeah, and his daughter Rashida.
Yeah. And anyway, I was. What was I doing? I
Oscars.
Think Cheers. And
okay.
We were out in LA, and we just had our first baby, and she was still a baby. And I'm home. I got home early one night instead of late 1 a.m. I was home. Excuse me. I swallowed a Polish wedding earlier.
This is the old school comedy that I'm talking about.
This is perfect.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going. What was I saying?
Quincy Jones.
Yeah, Quincy Jones called you up on the Oscars.
So anyway, we're putting our Olivia to bed, little baby. It's 11 o'clock, and the phone rings, and that's never good, right?
Right.
So I go to get the phone, and I answer, hello, and I hear this. Tom Leopold? Yeah? This is Quincy Jones. I want you to write on the Oscars this year. He was producing the Oscars, the one that Whoopi Goldberg hosted, right?
Okay.
I swear, this is a true story. And I go, holy, I'm thrilled, And I said, oh my God, I'm such a fan. Thank you so much. I said, what did you read of mine? He went, I read everything. I know he didn't read anything. It's on a list or something, And so I said, but Mr. Jones, as flattered as I am and honored to even speak with you, I'm on a TV show and I won't be able to do it. And he said, all right. And he hung up. So he's not mean, just hung up, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And,
like he's a busy man. He's got jazz to do.
Yeah. He's got other people to
yeah, he's got Will Lee to hire.
Yeah.
He's got Bruce Valanche to call to come in.
Yes. Is that who wrote?
He's a friend of mine.
Right.
So anyway, I can't believe it. I just spoke to Quincy Jones, who asked me to write on the Oscars,
Uh-huh.
And I was kind of glad I couldn't do it because I've been in that. I don't want to be in that position where the actor says one of your jokes and it bombs, and the actor or actress says, "Well, I'm gonna tell those writers," or "I had crappy writers,"
Yeah.
They insult the writers when the joke, Anyway, so I go in, I tell my wife Barbara, "You won't believe this, Quincy Jones producing the Oscars. He asked me to write on it." She goes, "Really?" "Yes, I can't. But it's just higher than a kite. It was great." Then the phone rings again. And I go, weird, I go in the living room and answer it. Hello? And I hear, "Tom Leopold." I go, "Yeah, this is Quincy Jones. I want you to write on the Oscars this year." Exactly the same thing.
Did you ask him again when he's read?
He was loaded. He just totally forgot he had called me already. I swear to God, every word is true. May the Lord...
So you got a trial run with the first call.
I go, "Gosh, Mr. Jones, this is such a thrill again." I said, "Unfortunately, I'm just still on the same show I was on when you called me a few minutes ago, and I won't be able to do it." That was it. That's it. That's my story.
Wow.
Well, okay, so Oscars...
I don't even know. It's not a story with a particularly good ending, but it's kind of a story anyway.
It's a great story.
I've
never gotten a phone call from Quincy Jones 2 times asking the same question.
Asking the same question? Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I haven't gotten to turn Quincy Jones down twice.
On the Oscars, I wouldn't even tell that story.
Yeah.
Not enough, you know what I mean? Then you're just posting.
That's true. Yeah. And you are the picture of humility, I got to say. I've always appreciated that about you.
I do think that's one of my best qualities.
Agreed. Yeah.
My sincerity is another one.
Yes.
And if you can fake that, you've got...
That's true.
What else can you I'm trying to think of the word.
Subtle?
I can
subvert.
Sublimate?
Sublimate, yes.
Yeah, what else can you sublimate?
Yeah.
Submarine.
Subvert. Submarine, yes.
Yeah, forget it. We're going to cut this whole question.
No, we're not either. This is all staying in it.
You're not even going to air this.
So
did you know Mr. Candy Cane?
Mr. Candy Cane?
Yeah. In Dallas?
No, that's Mr. Peppermint.
Mr. Peppermint.
Yeah, there was a guy.
That's what I said.
Yeah, there was a guy named Mr. Peppermint who was in Dallas.
I'm very loaded right now.
Yeah, you're not either.
No.
Okay, so I want to circle back to something that you said. Your fascination
by the way,
with Dallas.
Congratulate me. It's my 3rd day of sobriety.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sobriety means that he's moved from red to white. It's gradual sobriety.
Sobriety means I don't wake up in my own puke.
It's slowly
anymore.
Yeah.
That's my version of it. Yeah.
And
I stopped just before that.
And step 1 is realizing that you had a problem. So
that's right. And then
we're proud of you.
I don't mind stopping drinking. I just don't want to have to go around apologizing to everyone.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you don't want to get to the make amends
portion.
portion.
I don't like that step.
There's
not a good step.
That's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
I've done enough apologizing.
Yeah.
This is true.
I'm sorry. You were asking me something.
So I want to circle back. You said your fascination with Dallas is because of the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
Which is 5 years after the Halloween in 1958, which is a song you wrote about. Right. So what are your thoughts on the Kennedy assassination, and which was worse, the Kennedy assassination or the Will Smith slap?
Oh, gee. I don't even have to think about that. Well, I suppose if you twisted my arm, I'd say the Kennedy assassination. But
that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I was fascinated with, I'm old enough to remember the day he was shot. I was in elementary school, and in those days, he was like the same age as my father was. My mother was young. My parents got married very young. They were Dick Van Dyke Show. They were the same age as those people. So the whole world was that kind of age, young, good looking, all that. Anyway.
Was Dick Van Dyke good looking?
Who?
Dick Van Dyke. Was he considered good looking?
I think he was. I think he was a handsome.
He looked like a good version of those days,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's got good teeth.
In context. I just always felt like he had heavy legs.
He had heavy legs.
He did have heavy legs.
Go with us, thank God. this may not even answer the question that I've totally forgotten anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But no, I remember. I came back from school. We had dinner that night, Friday night. He'd just been shot that day, and we had pork chops. Remember that? They were all dried out and burned because my mother. They usually were anyway, but it's like an eternal flame for the president.
And she cooked her pork chops over the eternal flame.
An eternal flame. My dad didn't. He got very successful later.
Yeah, we're patriots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he had to do something.
Yeah.
So anyway, my dad had a really bad World War II in Guadalcanal. I mean, all that stuff sunk in the ocean, and you know what I mean. And 18 years old, and fire on the wall, everything. The whole schmear. We got his war records once, and one of my brothers, and I go, maybe it's not so bad. He, asked me if I was gay because I wasn't dating. Maybe I can let that go now.
Yeah, Dad's been through some stuff.
There came a point when Walter Cronkite on TV, the TV never went off, of course, on that weekend. And Walter Cronkite, who was the big news guy in those days, we were at the table and he started talking about, isn't it amazing the president goes through World War II, was a real war hero, for real. Whatever his other faults were, he was a war hero. He saved his whole crew, half his crew, and did all these things. And to be shot down in the street, and my father burst into tears because my dad was in the Solomon Islands, where we're very close to where Kennedy was.
Right.
I don't know how much that had to do with it. It just brought back a flashback.
Yeah.
And burst into tears. I mean, I never saw my dad tear up or even anything, and it hit me that, wow, you know what? World War II was only 15 years ago. I mean, now 15 years is nothing,
Right.
But I was like 13, and I realized, it wasn't just these movies I go see with John Wayne. My dad was really in this thing. And that couldn't have been. He would only talk about funny stuff, funny guys in the Navy and stuff. Anyway, I got very into the Kennedy assassination. I just thought the conspiracies were everywhere. I even had dinner with Jim Garrison.
Really?
Who was, as you know, was the DA in New Orleans, who's the only person ever bring a case against for the Kennedy assassination against someone. It's completely bogus, and he was completely mobbed up, and it was a complete lie. But anyway, I didn't know that when we had dinner. So to me, it was like having dinner with, James Madison or Thomas Jefferson or somebody.
Johnny Cochran.
So So anyway, I went to Dallas, to Dealey Plaza, and all this stuff, and I met all these conspiracy people, and someday I should write something about it. We had this guy was great. He like all these conspiracy nuts met at this guy's house, and he invited me and opened up all these albums and pictures of people that were all this stuff. And I'll never forget. And his grandson was on the floor with a hose coming out of him. He had spinal bifida, which has nothing to do with the story, but it did.
But he did.
It's color, I wanted to give the story a little texture.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll take a horrifying detour and back on.
Yeah. Anyway, so this whole conspiracy
authenticity.
Thing, anyway.
Yeah.
And I love the spinal bifida people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them. But anyway, so anyway, what happened? I was so into it, and finally I read a book called Case Closed by Gerald Posner. You might know who he is.
Okay.
He wrote a book called Case Closed, and it's just the smartest book, and it completely explains that this wasn't a conspiracy at all. Blah blah blah, and he really proves it, and and it's great, and it just. But then, but it left me without. I ran into him, and that's it. I had no more interest in conspiracy, but I had no other hobbies. That was it, the conspiracy.
Yeah.
And so about a year later, I run into the author of the book in New York, and I go, "You Gerald Posner?" He goes, "Yeah." He says, "Man, you left me without an obsession. I got nothing in my life now. I got to take up an instrument or something, Yeah,
I have found in life that every now and then there are such things as coincidences.
Coinky dinks?
Yeah, quinky dinks. Like the JFK defense crew. What's their name? The not the CIA, the
FBI?
No, they guard the president.
Secret Service?
That the Secret Service
the JFK defense crew?
I couldn't think of the name. You got what I was saying.
Really, that's not a name you want to have. You know, they really weren't on top of their game.
No. But they allowed the top to be down. He was wearing a corset for his back pain, so he couldn't dodge.
Oh yeah, he always wore that.
There's all kinds of if this one thing
he demanded that the top be taken off.
Yeah.
You know, my aunt was.
The whole reason he was there.
Yeah, my aunt was a few cars in front of him. She was a
really?
cheerleader. Yeah, she was a cheerleader at Nimitz High School, and they had a car that was a few cars in front of JFK. They had passed under the what is now the 35 bridge. They were on the other side of Elm Street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, from where
Holy
he was.
Smoke. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, she was part of the motorcade that sped on.
I'm glad to hear that you like conspiracy theories because they are more fun than real life, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
Especially flat Earth.
Real life, so you know, who am I to judge?
So, your next question is going to be about the second piece of accoutrement that has now entered the setting here,
Frankie?
And that is your puppy.
Oh, hey, Frankie was on the last time.
Frankie was on the last time.
Yeah. Hey, Frank. He always likes to be in here with me.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
Now that attention is being paid to him, though, he's done acting. He likes when we ignored him
Rescue
better.
dog.
Yeah.
He rescued Frankie. He rescued us right back. No. That's a mind from that stupid movie with Richard Gere and Julia, whatever her name is.
Roberts?
Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the prostitute.
Hey.
Yes.
Gorgeous prostitute.
Yeah. Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Roy Orbison's movie.
Yeah. Hey, I keep on trying to start the sentence. Hey.
Now people are going to think it's the Roy Orbison story.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Pretty Woman, a Roy Orbison story.
Yeah. I love to see it. And there's a guy with a story. Talk about tragedy.
Joke. Yeah. Yep. I played at Roy Orbison Park in Vernon, Texas. We did a concert there many moons ago, and my cousin flipped out of a swing because he went too high and ended up like breaking a couple of fingers, and he killed one of his teeth.
And then I couldn't play, I'm guessing.
It was after the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's showbiz.
You played. He has a park named after him.
He has a park named after him in his hometown of Vernon, Texas.
Well, that's the least they can do.
It's fantastic.
I think. Yeah. I love him, man. Oh God, Mystery Girl. I was listening to recently.
Ooh, yeah.
It's a lesser known song of his. Boy, oh boy, what a voice.
Okay. Hey, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, Quentin.
This should be fast. Do you think I could pull off Paul Schaefer's tinted glasses?
I don't think you should. You know, he and I are both the same age.
Yeah.
And it might be a shock to his system.
Yeah. If someone else starts wearing blue.
Oh, I thought you meant pull them off his head.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
No. Could I pull off Looks tinted glasses?
You know, I tried this camera, the computer, in all different angles, so it wouldn't reflect the screen, but I couldn't figure it out. But I see the yours do too. So, I think you could. But your glasses are kind of like mine. I would go with a more Buddy Holly look.
Yeah.
How are you?
A thicker frame.
Yeah.
Thicker. I like the thick black glasses.
I might try that. These are broken, so I need to get a new one.
I'm just glad that we've established you shouldn't assault Paul Schaefer.
I immediately got worried about my friends. You don't want to shock somebody our age.
Oh, yeah. I would never do that.
You can pull it off. Yes, you could pull it off. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Tom, what projects do you have right now that you're the most excited about?
I wrote a musical with a lot of the songs that are in that CD.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh, I forget the name of it.
By the way, stunning artwork.
Yeah, absolutely. The pensive stare of Tom Leopold.
Mm-hmm. With red tinted glasses, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Rose-colored, if you will.
Yeah, your rose is probably...
yeah.
I'm not good with words.
Great looking thing. What I'm working on now is a musical I wrote called Kip and Sylvia Tonight on D-Deck. And it's about a husband and wife songwriting team. Actually, we're going to do it next month here in Manhattan, and we're going to take it to the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Really?
It looks like it's not, please God, but it's all going towards that. And it's about this husband and wife songwriting team, Kip and Sylvia Glasscock, who are doing an evening of the songs they wrote throughout their lives, and walk down memory lane of their songs, how they wrote them in their lives together. Right. And it's on the Concordia too, which you remember the Concordia was an Italian cruise liner.
Yes.
That ran aground and the captain went to jail and killed like 500 people and left his ship and everything.
So this is the husband.
Well, this is the Concordia too. It's back. They fixed it and it's back on the water. And the same captain has been taken out of jail, and he is now, again, apologized at the beginning of the thing. Thank you for your courage, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, anyway, it stinks again at the end. But the whole evening are these songs that I wrote, and their terrible life and how miserable people they are. And then at the end of the thing, it starts to sink again, like there's water in their shoes and stuff. But it's pretty funny, and that's what I'm most excited about.
So
who's the cast?
Yeah.
Who do you have casted?
A great, funny guy who is one of the funniest people I know. I think you'll only know, maybe you know him, Craig Bierko, but he that boxing movie, what was it? Cinderella Man.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He played Max Bear.
Yes, that was Russell Crowe's.
The mean opponent. Biggie,
okay.
Max Bear, the guy. But he's one of the funniest guys in the world. He did The Music Man on Broadway. And we just had a reading with him and Beverly D'Angelo, who I know. We did a Zoom reading of it. And she plays Chevy Chase's wife in all the vacation films.
Yeah, your good friend Chevy Chase.
So that's who but we're not locked in. We're locked in with Craig, but I think, Beverly got a paying job.
Oh,
I'm not paying anybody anything. I'm just giving away pieces of it.
Right.
Now I wish I had a piece of myself. I gave away everything. But
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, Beverly D'Angelo.
I got over $1,500. I don't care where the business goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, so you've written a song about written a musical about the Concordia 2. And what's the name of the musical?
Well, it's called Kip and Sylvia Tonight on D-Deck.
Tonight on D-Deck.
Kip and Sylvia.
And it's in a little theater in the cruise ship. And we have the theater's going to be decorated like portholes on the side of it and stuff. And it's a 2-person musical with a piano player.
That's
awesome. It's a fake couple that wrote songs, and it was just one horrible story after another.
Well, it does almost sound like Titanic-esque because you said the ship sinks again. So are they just playing as everyone else is going to the lifeboats, like the band in the Titanic that just goes down with the ship?
Exactly. I use that line at the end of this thing. Come on, let's be like the band in Titanic, and let's keep going. And you hear people screaming, and we're going to try to make it look like the stage is tilting and everything.
I think it's
it's so hard to describe because it's so crazy. But I'll come back on, and if you'll have me, and I'll plug it to death.
Oh yeah,
100%. We would have you back on for that.
Fantastic!
And
that would be amazing.
This is Kip and Sylvia Glasscock. Did I get that?
Yeah, he's the Glasscocks.
Okay.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kip and Sylvia, the Glasscocks. Kip and Sylvia. That's how they're good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a
writing duo on D-Deck.
Distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know how they have these evenings on cruise ships and people give lectures and
right.
that sort of thing. And poor Sylvia has a drinking problem, and she's got bottles of vodka stashed in different places on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Like in the piano. When he's not looking, she's like, and she gets really loaded midway through. It just becomes meaner than anything.
I don't know which one I want to see more, that or the J. Edgar Hoover musical.
See,
both of those sound amazing.
I really want to see J. Edgar because I have a frame of reference for it because I've listened to it several times.
But he's right. We do know the story of the Concordia.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's my funnest thing ever to have done.
Yeah,
that would be so good.
Yeah, we almost got mounted J. Edgar, you should pardon the expression, on Broadway. And Kelsey was going to do. We just couldn't get backing. You should again pardon the expression.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And in London, just before COVID, Harry almost had it set up as a musical.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to do it on the stage, like a real 50s kind of musical.
Right.
And, it just hasn't happened, and we're going to 109. So I don't know how long
we've got a community. We've got a community theater here in our city.
I know. Turn, kick, turn.
Yep. I'll put up all of the.
Oh yes, I can do all of that.
Go ahead, Rev. What?
I'll put up all of the backing in order to fly everybody in for one night of J. Edgar. If you get the guys to do it, we'll make it happen.
Oh man, that's a rough crowd to put together again. There's a lot of.
It is.
John Goodman, Kelsey Grammer, Chris Guest, Harry, Michael McKean.
Yeah. If we can make it work, like I don't care when it happens, I'll pay for everybody's ticket to get here.
Well, how about Kip and Sylvia? It's a smaller cast.
Well,
yes. You got to see it first, see if you like it.
Yeah. Well, I'll pre-screen it and then I'll let you know.
We'll like
I'll just come down and do an evening.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Tom
totally in
Leopold
for.
remembers, but no one remembers Tom Leopold. That's how you'll title it.
Perfect. I'm totally in for that, and then we'll take you back on the JFK tour so that you can see how all the grass has grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
That sounds perfect to me. Well, we'll have to book it. Well, Tom, as you well know, we end all of our interviews with a segment that we like to call Controlled Rowdiness, where we will ask you some rapid-fire questions, which you can answer with as short or as long an answer as you wish. There are no right answers, but there are several wrong ones, so be careful that you don't step on any of those landmines. And I'm going to turn it over to, hey, what's up, Big Dan Gibson, to get us started.
Okay.
Put them together for Dan.
Yeah, thank you.
Dan.
What are your favorite Yiddish words? Stole this right over you.
Verdreht means koyak is strength, and verdreht means I'm exhausted. I'm verdreht, you know.
Yeah.
One I can't say anymore. My father would always say, but he wasn't racist. He would just say it.
Right.
Yeah. And
as we all do.
Just because it was so wrong, it's such a funny sounding word. But kibitz, you know, the usual. Yeah.
All right.
You know what? Gottenhimmel is one. My grandmother used to say that all the time. God in heaven, Gottenhimmel.
Gottenhimmel. That's good.
Gottenhimmel.
I like Shabbos. We were just talking about that the other day.
Yeah. That is a good Yiddish word.
Yeah.
They're all good comedy words.
Yes, they're all funny.
All right.
That's why we're the chosen people.
Yep.
Amen.
I'm both now.
I'm both. You're sanctified and chosen.
I got to follow up.
Oh goodness!
I'm gonna steal the spotlight back.
Okay.
So I actually have a question. I got an argument with a friend of mine.
Here we go.
I got an argument with a friend of mine where I mentioned that the Jewish people have a long history in comedy and storytelling, and he said that I was racist for saying that.
You were what for saying it?
That was racist. He was joking, but saying, "Oh, that's racist." And how is
that
racist?
No, you're not racist. You're anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Okay. Is that what it is?
No, you're not either one.
So that's fine to say.
Well, what if you said the Irish have a great sense of humor and they have a long history of storytelling too? I mean, it'd be the truest thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're just better looking people than the Jews.
And not funny.
No, I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm a Jew.
Well, that was all that I needed to bring back to.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. You can't say anything.
All right.
If that makes you a racist, boy,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I just like that it makes you an anti-Semite.
That was all I needed was to go tell him Tom Leopold said to shut up.
Yep.
You tell that guy. Tell Tom Leopold gives him a good finger wag.
Okay.
Done. He says,
Brendan,
nobody
it's
talks
coming.
to you like that.
It's coming, Brendan.
I won't have it.
Yeah, knock that
You
schmutz
friggin'
right
watch
out
out.
of your mouth. All right. Aykroyd, Murray, Belushi, or Chase? Who's the bigger talent?
Who's the bigger talent?
Yeah. Aykroyd, Murray, Belushi, or Chase? Who's got more talent?
Gosh, they're all pretty good.
They are.
I think Billy Murray is a better actor than any of them would ever have been. But in terms of funny, I couldn't say.
Yeah.
They're all unbelievable. You know,
That's like trying to pick your favorite angel.
Yeah. That's like asking which one of your kids' Adderall do you prefer to steal? You know, hard to say. You know?
You can't say
it's almost impossible. You can't really say.
All of them.
Yeah, they all equally need their Adderall. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't feel right about it, but I do it.
Okay, Batman and El Drapo get into a fight. Who wins?
You know, if you look on YouTube, there's one thing of El Drapo.
I've been trying to find it since you mentioned him.
I found one once that was El Drapo. You were not going to believe it. It's just one of those things that I just used to laugh at as a kid. Couldn't believe it. And it's really rocked my world, you know, that kind of stuff.
We're going to find it.
Well, Superman has superpowers.
Right.
But El Drapo, you know, had a fashion sense. He was fashion forward, whereas Superman was wearing the cockamamie suit with the S, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So super.
You looking up El Drapo?
Yeah, we're still trying.
We're still trying to find El Drapo with.
We'll do this another time.
Hard to find.
He is. He's very difficult to find.
And he was on a lot of stuff. Look on Queen for a Day, El Drapo. You might find it. That
Queen
was a show
for
that
a
was
Day?
on when I was a kid.
Okay.
Queen for a Day. That was some show.
And it may be on another
That was
platform.
just where the guy would have on. There'd be a contest of 3 women, housewives, and whoever had the saddest story got to be queen for a day. So, you know, these 3 women would tell these horrific stories. It's on every day of the week. And sometimes he'd have entertainment, and El Drapo would come on and, you know, would do his magic. And anyway, so
dress them.
That's it. It's that way television was in those days. That's why we like that entertainment. It reminds us of our youth, you know?
Yeah. Being dressed on a Lazy Susan.
Yeah. Speaking of your youth, what 2 things do we need to do in order to bring back old school comedy?
Oh, I think just wait.
You think so?
Yeah, it's coming back anyway.
You think
I
comedy
think this
circular?
slap may be the end of all that baloney. We can't be funny anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I hope. It's got to end somewhere. It's got to be absolutely, you know, hate speech. Everything is hate speech, you know?
Yeah.
Everything. As if that's physically harmful to people. So therefore, there's no, you know, G.I. Jane joke. I mean, if he had hit him with his fist, he would have killed him. Will Smith.
Likely.
You know?
Yeah, he would have at least knocked him out.
Yeah, Will Smith works out, and I don't think Chris Rock. Yeah, I mean,
Will Smith is like 6'5".
Yeah, he's a big guy.
That tall?
Yeah.
Dang.
Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I think. I don't know. I'm the eternal optometrist. You know, I always think good things are going to happen. Oh, wait a minute, that's not right.
You can always see good things are happening.
I can see my way clear to hope for good things. Yeah.
All right. That makes sense.
All right, my turn?
Yeah, you're up.
Okay, you mentioned Walter Cronkite as the legendary newsman. So comparing Walter Cronkite in his day or Brian Stelter, who was the best newsman and who was most likely to win a hot dog eating contest?
Okay. Man, I like when people say, let me answer the second part first. I like when people say that. I'm going to answer the second part first. That's why we did.
Okay. Yep, go for it.
Brian Stelter hot dog contest, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give him that.
That's correct.
Yep.
No,
he'd be great.
I think he deserves that.
Did you know he's our age? Brian Stelter's the same age as us.
I can't watch that kind of.
Yeah,
I can't watch.
Yeah, we looked it up, and I'm
I
almost
can't watch
converted to Judaism.
MSNBC, whatever. Walter Cronkite was a great newsman. I mean, when Walter Cronkite told you stuff, you know, you could believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I mean, he kind of set the bar for everybody.
Yeah.
He was one of those old school guys who were over there in World War II reporting with bombs coming down. He was a protege of Edward R. Murrow, who was, you know, it's a good movie about Edward R. Murrow.
That was America's newscasts.
Yeah.
Were those guys. Everybody got their news from those gentlemen.
Right.
All right, so you've had the opportunity to work with just an incredible amount of talented actors, actresses, comedy writers throughout your career. I'm curious, who do you think has had the bigger influence on comedy, specifically in the United States? Doug Kennedy from National Lampoon or Lorne Michael from Saturday Night Live? I
can tell you guys that Doug Kennedy's grave is on the next town over from our house here in Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
I visited his grave not long ago. I didn't know him well at all. I met him only a couple of times, so I didn't know him at all. Of course, I knew everybody that knew him. Well, you'd have to say Lorne Michaels, because he just was this tunnel of, this birth canal of endless funny people coming out of his comedy birth canal,
Right. Okay.
So in that sense, he's not just influence. And I didn't know Doug well enough to. He had an effect on a certain group of people that had an effect on a big group of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess that's how you say it.
So he influenced the influencers of the next
I think
generation.
so,
Yeah.
because Jfk was he was only in that first season of SNL, but he was a big National Lampoon guy, and he did a ton of stuff.
That's where I knew him from.
Yeah.
To start off with, yeah. He was gigantic. After 3 episodes of Saturday Night Live the first year, he was on every magazine. I think I told the story last time where
Yeah.
I ended up working for him and stuff. Yeah. But, I've really been lucky. Not only guys from my generation, but the people I grew up idolizing. That's where I get my most. That's where it becomes the most. You're always like impressed with the generation just ahead of you. At least I think people are.
Right.
So the fact that I wrote for Jonathan Winters and I hung out with him and Bob Newhart and people. Bob Hope I even wrote for once.
Wow.
A joke that he said, and to me as a kid, it would have been like imagining that I was going to go to Cape Canaveral and fly to the moon. I mean, the idea that I would end up having lunch with Jerry Lewis and all these people who were sun gods to me, and then even like by my mid-20s, I was meeting all these, these heroes, that and working for them.
Yeah.
People that of your same generation, you don't sort of take it as, although I know more people that got really famous. I can't imagine anybody who knows more people that got really famous from a certain group, except me. I'm not. But the people that I knew but they're your peer, so peer group.
Right.
They're peerless, of course. But the ones you grew up going, oh man, I used to sit in front of the hi-fi and listen to his Jonathan Winters comedy record over and over and over and over and over and over again, and do all the bits of school, and and 6 years out of high school, I'm lucky enough to write for him. My God, it's not to get uninteresting, but there you go. That's the story.
No,
that's my greatest thing, and then how are we doing on time?
No, we're great. Yeah, we got as much time as you want to take.
Oh, okay. Well, now, to my great surprise, people of the younger generation sort of look me up occasionally, and I'm so surprised by it because who knows a writer? Writers aren't, but there's a whole world of comedy from guys your age and younger even who are into. The stuff like I was into next generation, and I'm surprised and flattered about it occasionally. I see, something like that.
I grew up with watching Bill Murray and Chevy Chase and Fletch and Caddyshack and all of the Christopher Guest movies. My grandfather and my dad and my uncle all just worship the ground that Christopher Guest walks on,
right?
Figuratively speaking.
Well, he and I were still friends, and I met Chris when I was 17. He was 19. Mike McKean the same day at acting school. They'd both been to college already. I came out of high school, and if it wasn't for those guys, I don't think I would have realized that I was funny too.
Yeah,
because I knew how funny they were.
Yeah,
right away, and they thought I was funny. So
that's got to be.
It gave me a lot of confidence early on. I didn't think I was going to be a comedy writer. I was in dumb acting school. But.
Well, and I think for us, for guys that are aspiring to like do something, we go to where are the things that we found the most joy, right? And like for me, Cheers was one of those things. I loved watching Cheers whenever I was growing up, and then whenever it came out on streaming services, I loved rewatching it because it was funny. And when you look at that, especially the later seasons, every one of the episodes of Cheers in the last season that I liked had one name on it. Then it was Tom Leopold was on all of the episodes that I liked, and I was like, all right, this seems like a guy that
a great gets compliment. Me. Well, that's a great show. Yeah. And that was on years and years before I got on there, and that was my favorite job.
Working at Cheers.
I worked the guys in that room. Comedy writers in the room, we call it, the writing room. I mean, we work hard, but I go home with my ribs hurting. Like everybody had their own room bit, Everybody had their characters that they would do because you're working there so many hours. You're working from 10 in the morning till 1 in the morning, and at that point, at 12:30, the word duty becomes the funniest thing that anyone's ever said. You're so tired. And the next morning you send the script in that night, and the actress and the director comes, why'd you guys put duty in the script? But you're just so punchy. But that was like working at the Rolls-Royce factory, that was just a dream. I would have stayed with that show forever.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Did you?
The actors were all great. And the thing about that show is, you knew that if a joke didn't work that you wrote, it wasn't the actor's fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
Whereas, you don't get, that's not a normal thing.
Yeah. If young Sheldon doesn't get a laugh,
you've got to write a good joke and the actor messes it up. But if Norm didn't kill with your joke, you better write another joke because it's not his delivery,
Yeah.
Really good guys. Yeah.
Speaking of writing jokes, I am curious, did you ever have in the writer's room a time where there was a joke that everyone was trying to crack and it was an unsuccessful attempt, or, it took all night to get a joke?
Not a joke so much. Those are usually those experiences are usually story problems.
Okay.
And that's it's a, we had to do stuff like we go to a run through on Tuesdays, nothing working. And we had to go and write a whole second act in one night,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That didn't, because the first act didn't work. And he read good at the table, at the reading in the beginning. So I think it's not so much the joke, because if you got the story right, everybody in the room is going to pitch, or most of the people in the room, or some of the people in the room, we put it that way, are going to have, they'll be just which one's the best joke.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of good jokes. But it's story that's the sweat. And that's the hardest part. And then I say this, it sounds like goodbye, Mr. Chips, but I've taught some classes in, comedy writing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that you guys don't rush it. Story. The story has to be funny without any jokes in it. Tell me the story without any jokes in it. And then the jokes, by the time you do that kind of work, you've already thought of 19 jokes that could go there and you go there. But that's the sweat, that's like, how do I pay that off? And and that's just labor.
To your point, I can't think of many jokes, specific jokes that I've heard, but when I think of Everybody Loves Raymond or Seinfeld or King of Queens, whatever, I think of the story, what happened in this episode that was so funny.
Yeah, because there's got to be
that stays with you.
They call it setup in the biz.
Yeah,
and the story's got to set everything up for the joke.
Yeah, you could have 3 great jokes in a dumb story, and it's a dumb episode.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I used to do it. Thank God there was a screenwriter back in the early days. Right, I used to go live back and forth from New York and LA, a little cheap apartment each place, and this female writer who should go. Topless. I mean, not topless, God no. Would fly me out, and I'd punch up. She got all these movie jobs to write these movies, and I won't say who it is. She's a wonderful person, and would pay me with a paper bag with money in it. Flew me out.
That's the best way.
Punch up these movies of hers, but the movies were so badly thought out.
Yeah.
That I felt bad if I took the money.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, for sure.
But I felt like. You could put if the structure isn't working right, you can hang all these ornaments on it, but it's the same rules apply to drama.
Yeah.
Drama writing, I would think. Having not written too much drama.
Yeah, and the jokes don't fit in as well there.
Yeah, they don't. The jokes don't fit in as well in drama.
Jokes don't.
Yeah, and
kill
if you
on
write it like
SVU.
if you write a comedy like it's a drama, you'll find some kick jokes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like more painful, the more the joke can be hit out of the park. You know.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
That is it. People laughing at their pain is probably one of the most successful lines of comedy that's out there. Well, Tom, last question for you before we let you go. And that is, if you could have given, on the last season of Cheers, Ted Danson one piece of dating advice that could have saved the show, what would you have told him?
Good question.
You know, Whoopi's the reason that he quit the show. Threw everybody out of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love, you know, the writers didn't hang with the actors that much, but very pleasant and nice. And those actors always would talk about the writers in interviews, how grateful they were to the writers. On no other show I ever did anybody ever do that.
Yeah.
These stars. And I work with some great, nice stars, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice people. But, yeah, she said, get out of this, you know. He was dating Whoopi Goldberg at the time. He did blackface at the Friars Club. Nobody canceled Ted Danson.
That's a good point. Is the Friars Club roast the last stand? Is that the last hill? You know, that
I've
this is
written
sacred
so many of those roasts. I wrote a lot of those roasts. I'm a friar, and they made me a lifetime friar, so I don't have to pay dues, right? Because I wouldn't.
Right.
But 'cause I wrote all these roasts. You guys ever come to New York? You know, you'll be my guest at the Friars Club.
Oh my gosh!
It's not like it was when I was a kid and all these stars were there. There's nobody in show business there anymore.
Right.
It's like, you know, furriers and, you know, Wall Street guys. But it's a cool building. And you guys will be my date. I'll take you guys there. You ever get up here?
Done.
I'm in.
That's
We're
a done
going to
deal.
book the trip. We'll go up to New York.
Man, I love it.
We'll watch the musical, right? And then we'll pick a venue down here. So we'll fly you down here to Dallas right afterwards. We'll take you out in Dallas. We'll find a venue for the musical. We'll make it happen.
Crazy.
All right, you guys look forward to it.
We don't have a Friars Club, but we do have shotguns and skeet.
That's exactly right. And that'll happen.
Dallas is great.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I love it.
It'll be nice and warm, too.
Well, Tom, you are the absolute best. We love you.
Oh,
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I love you guys. I love you. Big wet kiss. Hanging out. I love you guys.
Tom freaking Leopold.
Yeah, he's so nice and funny.
And he's got so much energy.
And I'm always so intimidated.
Well, yeah.
But then he comes on, he's just regular guy. He wants to tell you 100 things that are funny right off the top of his head.
And he just goes from thing to thing to thing to thing. And that,
you know,
has to be why he's so good in the writer's room.
Our friend Victor Dweck said to let that happen.
Yeah.
Just let him go.
Just wind him up and let him go. And thus we did.
Yeah.
What did we learn? Tom plays guitar. He's got an album.
Yeah.
Which is pretty incredible.
We have the album now.
I'm wondering if we can use this as like hey, Tom Leopold, right? You said you know Will Lee. We'd love to have him on the show because we are going to do, we did a month of comic book stuff. We've got musicians coming up, right? We've got the very talented Ian Martin Allison.
Only if we can get William Hung too.
You know what? I'm totally down for that. My wife would hate that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so back to it.
Yeah. No,
Tom Leopold.
I'm in. So musician.
I'm fully on board with the. Oh, by the way, we have
his new
we have
musical that he's got coming out. Yep.
We've got J. Edgar, which we were aware of.
Yes, and which you should not listen to with your kids. But it's very funny if you know the story of J. Edgar Hoover.
I mean,
in the way that he approaches it.
You're good.
Yeah, it's not safe for work or children. But it is one of those like sort of comedic tellings of all of the rumors that surrounded this man's life and lifestyle.
There's so many odd stories from the most
he ran the
most
FBI.
powerful man in the world, essentially.
Yeah, for a very long time.
One of them.
Yep. We found out about his infatuation with the Kennedy assassination.
Yep.
And that's how he found out about his dad's World War II stories. Like there's always these weird moments with these comedic writers or with these comedians where you get to something that is very real, very true to form, or very close to their hearts. It's not always a ton of funny stuff, and that I thought was a really cool kind of genuine moment that we had with him as he was talking about that and thinking about it only being 15 years removed from World War II. Like, if you think about that made me think, been 21 years since 9/11.
Oh, that's what popped in my head. You know,
right?
Really telling my son about it every September 11th.
Right.
Hey, this is what happened. He goes, oh, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I know, but I want you to remember and make sure that it's something we don't forget.
And so, I mean, thinking in like the timeline, right? If let's say that World War II started 15 years ago. Right?
That's insane.
We're going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't have a choice. We're on the boats, likely to the Pacific where his dad was. That's crazy to think about.
Definitely with my physique.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, your physique
I'm
15 years ago.
I'm not going into the Navy. I'm not going to the Air Force. I can't fit.
No.
So it would be something else. I'd be ground troops. Or
yeah, and I'm going submarine.
You know what I would sign up for if I had to join, which I would be, okay, I'm going to walk that back.
Yeah.
Before I start saying I'd be happy to join.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to stop there. But I want to be a cook.
No doubt. You know who else wanted to start out as a cook? Dusty Slay. He wanted to be an Army cook, and then he didn't pass a drug test.
I can make
and
some
it ruined his career path of wanting to start a restaurant. Well, thank you guys for checking this out. Tom, thanks so much for coming on. Check out some of the links in the show notes to some of the stuff that Tom has done, where you can get his book. You can download his album, Tom Leopold, Just the Hits.
Great title.
Yeah, which is really great. And you can see
I expect nothing less.
The very pensive cover that we've been talking about, and you can hear some of the music that you just got a sampling of on this episode.
Featuring Paul Schaefer.
Is it lightly played in the background? Yeah, featuring his best friend Paul Schaefer, also of CBS Orchestra fame.
I don't think it's a coincidence they both wear tinted glasses.
Yeah, probably not.
And also, I want to join that club. I've been really thinking about this.
Then you know what you need to do?
What?
Be funny or good at an instrument.
You heard it, folks.
There we go. That's our quest to wear tinted glasses. Let's try to be funny or good at an instrument.
Do one of those two.
Hey, thank you all for checking out the show. Make sure you check out the stuff in the show notes. Like, subscribe, ding the little bell, get notifications if that's something that you're interested in. Make sure that you tell a friend about what we're doing on the Reverend and The Reprobate. We know we've got tons of different guests that reach tons of different people and niches and things like that. And one of the best ways that you can support a show is by telling somebody about us. In the meantime, have good, give, and we'll see you next week.
And shut up, Brendan.
Thank you for enjoying my work. Hi, I'm Tom Leopold, legendary comedy writer. Be like me. Don't do what I did. Watch the Reverend and the Rebel and the Reprobate. They're talented. They make you feel like you could do the same thing they're doing, but better. And I think that's a tribute to them. I love them. I wish I had saved my money more, so I, would do shows that were, on regular, commercial television. But that's not the point. That's about me. Fortunately, I'm very comfortable. I've got a mother in Miami and take care. But anyway, not important. Watch the Reverend and the Reprobate. Tom Leopold here. I'm sending you a BWK big wet kiss. Mwah!